Hey, welcome World Entertainment. And when it comes to DC, things just got very interesting and potentially messy. We know Warner Brothers is up for sale. We've heard that Netflix is interested. Skydance are the ones really pushing through. And of course, Universal have putting their money where their mouth is and are jumping in. However, there's now a new contender. This contender is actually the one you absolutely do not want to get hold of it. It's the Saudis. Yeah, but why has this made things very interesting? Well, apparently the news is that the Saudis want to bring back the SnyderVerse. Yeah, they are actually saying that they are going to bring back Zack Snyder and Christopher Nolan and continue the SnyderVerse. Not a once off, not a we're just going to let him finish the Justice League trilogy or anything. They want to re-establish the SnyderVerse and have that the main DC EU moving forward. Let's have a look at this. Now, before people start jumping in going, it's never happening. No, you're right. It probably isn't going to happen. I don't see Warner Brothers actually wanting to be sold to the Saudis. Even though apparently they are going to auction. That's the new word coming out now, is that David Zaslav is putting the company up for auction. But let's have a look at this. And of course, the Saudis could be blocked by the Department of Justice and stuff like that. But let's have a look. So on the eve of the anniversary of the theatrical Justice League release, our insiders, this is a Cosmic Book, so it's their insider saying this, have reached out with major updates about Zack Snyder and the sale of Warner Brothers Discovery and what is now being described as a full play scenario for the return of the SnyderVerse. Warner Brothers Discovery is officially up for sale, and it's no coincidence that Zack Snyder has been posting non-stop DC EU images and liking fan content on Instagram that compares the performances of his films to James Gunn's struggling DCU projects. The timing lines up with what we've been told. If Warner Brothers Discovery is sold, James Gunn will be out as head of DC Studios. This comes from the same insider who told us Daredevil Born Again was being completely retooled, which was correct as well. Months before the Hollywood Reporter confirmed it exactly as we reported it. It's the same source who has been accurately filling us in on the Warner Brothers Discovery sale and David Zaslav's plans before the trades caught up. Their track record speaks for itself. So they're talking there about their sources. So regarding DC, the message from our insider is clear. The SnyderVerse is back in play fully. That means Zack Snyder returning to DC, not just for a one-off Elseworlds title, but for an actual revival of the universe he started. We're told Christopher Nolan is also part of the plan to return as an executive producer. That's the same Christopher Nolan who backed Snyder on Man of Steel and helped shape the original version for DC before Warner Brothers derailed it with studio interference. According to what we have been previously told, it was also Nolan's decision to hand over DC to Snyder. Now that studio interference part you're hearing about, that's not Man of Steel, that is BVS, because of course, I keep saying it, Snyder wanted to go in and do Man of Steel 2. The studio said, no, put Batman in there. We want Batman and Superman. And that's where that came from. So, Man of Steel, or BVS, to get straight to the Justice League, that was never his plan. So, while Snyder has publicly said he wanted to end his DC career with an adaptation of The Dark Knight Returns, we're now told that the impending sale of Warner Brothers has shifted everything. He is pivoting toward restoring the SnyderVerse outright. If that happens, it implies the return of Ben Affleck as Batman, who publicly rejected working with Gunn's DCU after its announcement, which was hilarious. That was when James Gunn came out and said, we've spoken with Ben, he's looking so forward to working with us and we got plans with him. And then Ben Affleck got asked and said, I'm not working with them at all. And Henry Cavill as Superman. Fans remember Cavill's widely seen interview with Josh Horowitz confirming his comeback only for Gunn to immediately upend it. Gal Gadot has also been visibly active supporting Snyder's posts. None of this is accidental. Even Ezra Miller is making some sort of Hollywood return. Oh, Jesus, good luck with that one. We're told Saudi Arabia is now the front runner to acquire Warner Brothers DC. According to our source, they're in the driver's seat with their $1 trillion fund. And here's the critical part. Zack Snyder already works with the Saudis. Snyder and the UFC partnered with Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority, chaired by whatever his name is, Turki Al-Shaki, I think, to produce Brawler, an upcoming film Snyder is directing and co-writing. The Saudis trust Snyder creatively, and he is already tied directly into their entertainment expansion. Our insider says this is exactly why Snyder has been highlighting his SnyderVerse work on social media. The signals aren't random, they're building momentum. We're told that Hollywood as a whole is also signing massive new deals with the Saudis, including Trump and figures connected to Trump's circle like his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. The kingdom wants major entertainment assets, major franchises and massive theme park IP. We've heard all of that crap before, and apparently it's just a matter of putting a signature down. That's how close apparently the deal is with the Saudis. Now again, you absolutely do not want to be giving the Saudis any of this stuff. Any of it. Could you imagine having the likes of Superman, the American symbol of heroism and stuff, being under the control of the Saudis? That would be a massive mistake. Look at the football. For anyone in the States and stuff, you will obviously not really know much about this, but the soccer. Saudi started up the Saudi League, and they start poaching all the players, all the best players in the world, for millions of dollars. And the players went there, and they all pretty much hated it. Some of them are still there, but the majority of them have left it because they hated it. It's like, there's nobody in the stadiums. It has not taken off. They're doing everything they can just to not build their own IPs, but pretty much take everyone's IPs. And to give them control of something like DC is just insane. Now again, do I think Warner Brothers would be willing to sell to the Saudis? No, I don't. I really don't think that would happen. It very well could, but at the same time, it would have to go through the DOJ, and I think they would put a big pause on that and say, no, you're not selling an institution of American entertainment to the Saudis. At the same time, do I think if they were to buy it, will they reinstate the SnyderVerse? Who knows? Personally, I don't see the SnyderVerse coming back. I think this is all getting hyped up a bit too much. Snyder's putting out images of, Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck and all these. Difference is they're all images from the Justice League. And as it even says, we've literally just made it to its anniversary of the release of it. So the images kind of more coincide with the anniversary of Justice League, rather than him hinting, we are absolutely 100% coming back. Why would Christopher Nolan come back? That makes no sense. Gal Gadot has already said she's pretty much moved on. Ben Affleck has said he has no intention of going back to it. And even Henry Cavill at this stage is saying he's moved on. So the idea that Saudi would get it and all of a sudden all of these guys would agree to come back, a lot of these people probably wouldn't even want to work with the Saudis. So you got to keep that in mind. But overall, that's the rumor doing the rounds right now, that Saudi Arabia wants to buy Warner Brothers Discovery, and if they do, they want to reinstate Snyder and relaunch the DCEU. So what do you guys think about all this? Because it's crazy. Let me know. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like, share, subscribe, hit that hype button. Lets YouTube know that the videos are worth checking out. And of course, we're getting very close now to 3,000 subs. So thanks for everyone who's hit the sub button, and for everyone who's going to hit it in the future. You know who you are. You're right there. Press it. Come on. It makes a little noise and shows you little colours and stuff come out of it. Doesn't hurt, and it's free. So cheers. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.